Good morning. It's 5 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, and it's time to get up to start my day.
So why in the world am I subjecting you to my 5 a.m. bedhead, most unflattering time of the day possible? Well, it's because I want to share with you what I'm learning and what I've learned about routines and how they can make our RV home comfortable, functional, and something that we can maintain whether we're a young mom with kids at the house or we are in our retirement years with a little less energy than we used to have. I happen to be a great fan of James Clear, who wrote the book Atomic Habits, and its subtitle is Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. And I found that to be incredibly true. I highly recommend you read his book if you want to really change the habits of your life. He goes into the what, the how, and the why, and really makes some brain changes so that you stick with your new habits. Just as a simplistic overview of his book, he talks about three major things that happen. If you want different outcomes, you have to have different processes, and that will give you the identity that you want. So in my journey to turn my RV into my home, I had to set up what my outcome was going to be. I want a livable home that's aesthetically pleasing, that is as tidy as I can make it with other people living in my home, and one that brings me comfort and joy. What I found was that in my desire to really have a tidy home and a tidy life, I needed some systems to put in place to remind me to take my medicine, to answer emails, to remember which project I'm on, to manage the home. What am I cleaning today? To be able to do all the things that I want to do. And I thought maybe it's because I'm in my retirement years or semi-retirement years, or in my case, fake retirement years. But I think it's just the seasons we have in our lives. And sometimes they are so busy. Creating and managing systems put you into a train of habits that will allow you to do what you need to do to have the kind of life you want to have, and it saves you the time of rethinking everything on a day-to-day basis. You get up, you know what you're going to do, you follow your routine, and then you have the time to really enjoy the rest of your day and your life. So I have set up a couple systems that I think might really help you, and I'm going to share those in a way that I hope you can take and make your own. To help me in this process and to be successful, I have created this My RV Home Binder. And in here, I'm keeping everything that I routinely either need to do, need to watch, or need to record for my RV home. So things like not just my daily routines, but also the maintenance of the RV. And here I am putting copies of our insurance papers, just all of those details that you want to have so that if you need or somebody asks you for a document, a date, or a process, you've got it all in one file. Here's an example of my daily May routine. Now, May routine for me is the morning, afternoon, and evening. I need some structure in my life because I will go off and chase the next shiny object that's in my way rather than focusing on what I need to do. So by having this guide, it does help me keep on track. So a few things that you'll be able to see on here is that I have designated it for summer because I do feel like we need to be a bit flexible in our routines. And what happens in my life is very different in the winter because my husband is a fishing guide and he's home all the time during the winter time, where in summer he's gone most of the day. So what I can do and the times I can do it are very different, again, in the summer as they are in the winter. The times that I have for my morning, afternoon, and evening routines, again, are flexible. But these are the best opportune times for me to focus on them. And sometimes the reality is, if I don't eat breakfast at a certain time or a snack, then I might not be hungry for dinner because I'll eat that breakfast or snack later. And then our dinner becomes too late. Or I'll be too tired to cook and we'll end up going out, which might not be an expense that we had planned for at that time. So by having these markers during my day, it does help me to focus, to be more productive, and to actually reach the goals that I am trying to reach. On the right-hand side of the sheet, I have a to-do list. So there may be some things on a daily basis that I might want to add to this as I go along through the summer. And so there's a space for that, and there's also a space for notes. And that might be to remember a project or to break down a project and get that done during the summertime as well. So the nice thing about creating your own resource or having one that is customizable is that you can do just that. You customize it for what you need, what's going to help you be productive, and what's going to be successful for you. The next checklist that I really refer to quite often during the week, especially at the beginning of the week, is the weekly cleaning checklist. So these are things that sometimes people will say, on Mondays I'm going to do the bedroom, on Tuesdays I'm going to do the bathrooms, etc. I can't do that. My days get interrupted in a variety of ways, just like yours do. And sometimes I don't feel like doing the bathroom on a Tuesday. So my goal is to have all of the details of what I would like to have done every week in each room. And it may be that I do some of that on a variety of different days. I recently learned about the 10-minute tidy, and the 10-minute tidy is something that I'm finding very helpful for me. And that's when I am in a room, if I just take an extra 10 minutes to tidy up something in there, I can check that off my weekly chest. Now, if it's something that I really don't have time for, it's not a good 10-minute tidy. It's only when I have those extra 10 minutes to do something. Now, in most cases, your routine is going to be repetitive with just a little bit of flexibility. And in that case, you might just want to laminate one of these sheets or just print one out and put it on your fridge, that kind of a thing, so you can make notes on it. However, there are days when none of your routine is going to match what you had planned as an average routine. So what did my day look like on this particular Wednesday? Wednesdays are a bit different for me because I do a coaching call on Wednesday morning, and this particular Wednesday was a very busy one. So while on most days I'm able just to follow the pre-printed plan, there are some days I have to use the blank ones so I can readjust and be a bit more flexible on what my day will look like. So getting dressed, washing my face, combing my hair, and putting a little makeup on, which I don't usually wear during the week, but because I have a coaching call and I'm making this video, I'm going to try to look a little bit more presentable. Next on the agenda is to do a little bit of work check-in. I say work, but it's also for home because I do things like check my bank balance, make sure that anything that needs to be recorded is recorded. This is the first week of the month, so I had a couple bills to pay, things like that. Now, I do have to admit, one of my favorite times of the week are my coaching calls because I really enjoy being able to support and help people get to where they want to go. So it's 8 o'clock and it's time for breakfast. I got a little cold, so I put my little flannel on. Now that my coaching call is over, I don't have to look quite as professional. And frankly, I don't dress up, even put makeup on the days that I'm not going to go anywhere and I'm just going to be at home. So while I eat my breakfast, I'm going to go back into the office and plan out the rest of my day. 8:30 a.m., so I am on my email, making sure I clear it up from my personal ones to my business ones and to work on any projects that need to be done. Now, I don't work 5 days a week and I don't work all day long. So by planning what I am going to do and when it needs to get done, then I'm able to really have the rest of the day, the rest of the week free to do the things that I really enjoy in this season of life. It's 11 a.m. Time to take easy for a walk, run some errands, and get some lunch.
While we live in a park that is aesthetically pleasing and it's a nice enough park, it's not very dog friendly. And therefore, Izzy and I like to break our day, get out and get a little exercise, and we're headed to the park. Okay, little Isabella.
I think every little town in America has a memorial park, and we certainly do in Woodland Park as well. And this is really a nice family park. It's a great place to bring the dogs. You're supposed to keep them on a leash, and most people do. I do let Izzy's lead out so she can kind of go where she wants to go. She's a smeller. She wants to smell everything. But when we have dogs coming closer to us or children or something like that,
I do pull the reins in, and she's always looking to make sure she knows where I'm at. They also keep the lake stocked here with trout so parents can bring their little children here to fish. Our next stop is to pick up some lunch. And if you were to ask me if I was one of those kind of dog moms, I would tell you absolutely. Izzy has a car seat with appropriate restraints.
What's that big puppy, huh? Yeah.
To keep her safe in the car. And whenever possible, she goes everywhere with me, usually in this backpack. I have found that merchants are very willing to allow a well-behaved dog who is contained to come in most places. And that was certainly the fact when I went into Roy's to pick up my lunch. Now, I didn't eat in there. There's a place to eat outside. But because she was contained and she was not able to touch anything or anybody, she was able to come in while I ordered my lunch. Now, if you're ever in the Woodland Park, Colorado area, I do highly recommend you stop by Roy's Crew Barbecue. It is fantastic. They have a great deal of options, and there's something for everybody to love. Next, we picked up the mail and then had a short stop at the grocery store. And that brings us into the evening hours. And I'm going to be honest with you, between the time I got home from doing all of that and the time it took to make dinner, I took a nap. I usually run my errands on Fridays, but I had to do it on this Wednesday. And again, it was a day that I had to be a little bit flexible about. So some of the things that I had on my wish list for the day was to do some organization in my garage/office. And frankly, that didn't get done today. Now, I did get the plants watered. I brought in the sun tea that I had set out early before I left that morning. And I made a very light dinner of quesadillas. After dinner, I did the dishes. And then it was a little bit of quiet time for Bob and I just to talk about the day, how his fishing trip went. And he goes to bed very early. So around the 6 o'clock hour, I take the opportunity to do a bit of cleanup, a bit of decluttering, a reset of the home, so that when I sit down for my personal time, I only have a minimal amount to put away before I go to bed, but I wake up to a really clean and organized home. So did my routine help me? Well, I got everything done that was important. It's at the end of the day. I'm not frustrated. I feel good about what I did for the day. Whatever might not have been accomplished today will be taken care of in the future routines. And that is for another day. Hey, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. And would you do me a big favor? If you like this video, would you like and subscribe? And be sure to use the links below. Our goal is to bring you a lot more content. And using our links is one of the things that's going to help us make that happen. Thanks. Until next time.